Roster mania continues as we expect to do so for the next week or so. There are some roster locks that are happening today for PSQ, I believe, and then you'll also see some more roster locks throughout the month. And obviously, you'll see some pretty big announcements, the ones that we're all waiting for, like Phony Verhulst and all of those confirmations later on as the Pro League roster lock takes place later on as well. So let's dive in and talk about some more things that have developed over the last couple of weeks. Number one, Slayers has now announced that he is also looking for a team in the ALGS Year 5. EXO obviously splitting up, it seems. Now, Slayers has been a guy who's been teaming with this EXO roster for a while. I mean, these guys in general have been together for quite some time, but I guess at the end of the day, it's like all like a year span or so. Like if anybody's gonna really commit to each other, you don't really see much commitment past maybe a year or so, and that's just because like people are waiting to see how champs goes. That's the only big one, and then after that, that's when everybody's making the massive changes. Some changes you'll see after every single split, but the teams that are really dedicated, honestly, there's not really anybody that's dedicated if you're only considering a year. When you compare it to Call of Duty and stuff, those guys have been together some for years and years and years. It's starting to change now as things are getting franchised and whatever, but back in the day, my point is, people used to be a lot more committed to each other than what they are now. But we've also got to talk about Luminosity. When it comes to organizations being committed to their players as well, Luminosity had come out to say, we've had a fantastic year, and as of now, our team is officially unrestricted free agents, and we are wishing these guys the best going forward. Alex, the CEO or the head of Luminosity or whatever, comes out to say we're exploring all of our options for the 2025 ALGS season, including other regions as well. My messages are open for whoever is capable of winning a championship. It sounded like a dagger, but he obviously didn't mean it that way. He says whoever thinks this is a shot at our former players need to go touch grass. Looking at you, Reddit. We are 1 kill away from winning Worlds. Our roster last year was great, and we want another great roster. Simple. Now, the rumors or drama going behind the LG roster is what was pretty insane. If you guys have not seen the leaked DM stuff that was out there already, basically Sikezz it kind of knew like, hey, we're gonna probably split up. There's a lot of stuff going on. Sweet had basically come out to say, hey, a lot of roster changes out there, be looking out for yourself. I kind of like Sweet in that avenue. I think Sweet's always kind of had that approach. But then you had some talks with Furia. Obviously that's where all the Keon stuff came out. Yesterday's video. Well, Madness basically has been the rumored one to have leaked all of that, according to Sikezz, and Sikezz was obviously not too happy. Now, Madness has this now deleted tweet. Obviously, we covered Keon's deleted tweets yesterday, but Madness wanted to clarify, and this is before Furia basically told them all to shut up and delete all that crap, and let's fix this. So, too long didn't read. Before my timeline continues to get nuked, nobody on the Furia roster was 100% going to get dropped. The roster just had some major concerns post-LAN. JMo, Vax, and myself all had mutually agreed through individual conversations between JMo, not a group convo, that Furia roster likely peaked in performance this LAN. Due to that's crazy to say that, hey guys, just, you know, by the way, I think our roster, I think we just peaked, you know, like it's one thing to say in a troll way, like, oh, we're peaking, but like to actually bring a legitimate concern, hey, if you look at this, I'm pretty sure we just peaked. Like that's just a crazy conversation to have had. Anyhow, they had the conversation that maybe we just peaked. So due to this general consensus, JMo wanted to explore what options would even be out there. Only real considerations were Reps and Evan. Vaxlon got an independent offer for another unnamed team and planned on leaving Furia due to internal conflicts between him and I as well, and just feeling like this other team would be a better fit for him. That offer has since fell through. Crazy stuff going on, but we knew roster mania was happening behind the scenes. I'd like to make it abundantly clear, he says, that I did not want to drop Keon specifically. The reality is a majority of the roster felt as though a change in any direction was needed for Furia to improve. We individually across the board had way too many choke moments at LAN, some more than others, and lacked impact from fight to fight. Before anyone jumps on, the problem is these issues aren't coachable, and you're either locked in or you're not. He said, I view Keon genuinely as my best friend, and even the thought of not being on a team with him has been incredibly stressful for me, and I've been fighting tooth and nail to find a solution to make this roster work and be better. Another point Keon made publicly is that the quote, only way to get us to communicate with him is by posting it, is entirely false. Keon did not make a single attempt to DM us saying, hey guys, is something going on? We were not just ignoring and ghosting him like his tweet stated. I'd like to also make it a point that a roster lock for Pro League isn't until March, note the 14th, and since JMeyels and I weren't set in any direction, we hadn't brought it up in a collective conversation yet, which we plan to do either tomorrow or Friday. JMeyels and I also mutually agreed if roster lock was the 14th to avoid screwing anyone over, we weren't going to make any change to the team. No attempts to handle this matter privately were made from Keon. This is an emotional and irrational reaction to DMs getting leaked when this could have easily been handled privately. If Keon just asked us to hop in a call with the team, nobody would have straight up ignored him. Obviously, this is when things got crazy. People were like already bringing out the old story of, okay, now it's Keon, but remember last time when it was what was it, almost or already there, almost, I can't even remember their old team name, but Madness with Keon and Vaxlon, and these guys go into it. They've been teaming for quite some time. They look really, really good in scrims, and then finally they get approached with Furia. What a big opportunity that was. But unfortunately, in order to do that, Vaxlon was the one that was cut. A lot of people said it was a dirty move by Madness, and his Watson steps into play. Then that roster doesn't work out. His Watson decides to retire. Vaxlon comes back in the roster. Now they're all back together and things are looking good until people find out that Madness was looking at maybe making a roster change. However, he does make a fair point that many people were under the assumption that roster lock was today and that this is crazy last minute moves. Not the case, and I think a lot of people that are heavily in the scene kind of knew that this was not a Pro League roster lock. It was only like the PSQ stuff going on. So I can understand that point that they're making. The fact though is it is kind of weird. Like I just think it goes back to the whole commitment thing. Like, at the end of the day, you are going to have to look out for your own career. You're going to have to look out for your own success. And if you think you could succeed with another roster, you owe no one an explanation as to, oh, well, this is my friend, we're going to stick it out. But either have that approach or the friend approach. Either we're going to stick it out and ride this to the end together, because I'm not only just an individual, but we are a team. Keon, you're my best friend. We're going to do this together. I'm going to retire Apex with Keon on my team. But I get it. It's not a friendship business. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But I also think that, it's got to be one or the other. No shame in either. I just think Keon maybe, doesn't have that same impression. Like, I think maybe Keon was just kind of like confused as to how we're doing this. Like, I thought we're all committed. You can see in that video that we showed yesterday, Keon was fully under the impression that we're committed to the end. Us boys, I'm not ever leaving them unless they drop me. And then you see it like actually almost happen. You're like, oh crap, that's terrible for the guy, because Keon seems like, Keon seems like a very committed, loyal friend, and that's exactly what RKN, his former teammate who also dropped him, had said as well, and he actually regretted it, and that he wished he would retire his Apex career with Keon also. Now, of course, Sikezz has been in the middle of all this because Sweet came out to say, hey guys, we all need to look at our options. There's a lot of stuff out there. So Sikezz is kind of know, hey, we're all kind of free agents. And then obviously LG also released the roster entirely. So Sikezz is kind of like, in conversation at one point, Madness says, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, yeah, I am a free agent. But then those DMs get leaked out and Sikezz starts crashing out and going crazy on Madness in a clip from yesterday posted by Dr. Unafraid. So here was Sikezz' reaction. Roll it.
Oh my fucking god.
Bro, Sikezz heard some drama. You got a fucking boner.
Yeah,
I don't have a boner. I'm more so like, why the did my whole team situation just get fucking aired out on Twitter for no reason? Like, Keon tweeted. Yeah, he literally just confirmed that it wasn't me. Like, what did I do, man? All right, well, cat's out of the fucking bag, I guess. Like, fucking hell.
Sikezz didn't tell me. My DMs of people asking me to team with them because the world knew I was getting dropped.
So yeah, since your shut up. Since your team was leaked, do you want to explain everything? Since you have my stream and everything, go ahead. My team was leaked.
You're dumb as.
Yeah, on the DMs. No, well, it wasn't like, it wasn't the actual, No, literally, he said that your team was looking for options or something. Yeah, I mean, we just talked after the LAN, and we were all exploring options. I guess, obviously we had a rocky 6 months. We had a lot of blow-ups, a lot of arguments. We finished on a 7th. It was a nice team message where we all were like, okay, listen, a lot of stuff going on after champs. We like each other, we respect each other. It's not guaranteed we'll split up, but we all are going to explore options. That's exactly how the convo went. Madness DMs me right after and goes, hey dude, what are you doing? And I was like, yeah, so I'm basically like kind of a free agent. well, obviously in the screenshot you see it. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below about the roster updates in today's video. Don't forget, Falcons will not be making a roster changes. Hal kind of confirmed that on stream the other day, that they are not making any changes at all. I kind of like it because I feel like Waltzy, if you know this roster at all, you know that Waltzy and Zero have been wanting to team with each other for a very long time. At least I know Zero has been wanting to team with Waltzy for a very long time. I honestly think that this duo may last a good bit, a lot longer than what people are expecting. At one point, we thought Zero may run through teammates quite a bit, but I think Waltzy is more than just a teammate. I think there's been some kind of specialty factor that Waltzy has. We'll see if that holds true, obviously. One piece I do worry about, at one point I wonder if Hal will ever make a change. I think we all know Hal is deep down this IGL, that whole North America TSM vibe, and I just don't know if he's fulfilling that same role or calling that he was at one point of his career, where he was arguably at his peak. Now, you got to give it up to him. They just got third at the World Championship. You can't really say that he's not kind of still peaking. So let me know what your thoughts are down below. Like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with everything going on the scene inside of Apex Legends Esports. And until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.